Hi. Hi, I'm Tom and this is Mark. We're here to talk about Acronis Cyber Protect for operational technology. So Acronis is the number one business continuity utility for operational technology. We're here to actually discuss why that's so and then talk about system integration. So with respect to the why, so number one, Acronis actually protects all of the OT systems within the shop floor network. So we cover systems that have OPC connectivity. It does a really good job at protecting those systems. It backs up all the right parts of those systems and it gets clean recoveries. It handles legacy computer operating systems. So it handles, we actually cover all the way back to Windows XP Service Pack 1. And then we handle all different operating systems, including Linux, Mac. So really we can cover all the computers in the shop floor network. We can also protect air-gapped systems. So systems that actually don't have a network connection, we actually have methods to be able to address that as well. Point number two is with respect to architecture. So we are Purdue model compliant. We actually, based on the architecture of our infrastructure, we have a console and we have the agent. The agent does a majority of the work and its data flows all go outbound. So there's no need to actually punch holes in the shop floor network firewall. It's actually in line with a lot of the OT security architect principles. So number three is with respect to recovery. So we're good at operational recovery. We can help when there's an incident or an outage on one system. We're great with disaster recovery. If there's an outage at a site, if there's a flood, a power outage, so a larger disaster. But where we also kind of stand out is we can help with cyber recovery. Now, I actually worked at a company that was impacted by NotPetya in 2017, and the recovery process can really turn into a trial and error recovery. It could actually take a long time. With a true cyber recovery capability, you can actually have the same recovery point objective and recover as quickly as if you had a smaller operational incident. So it's a necessity today, given all the different vulnerabilities and bad actors out there. We could do things like recover to a virtual machine, so that eliminates the need to actually retain hardware if you have an archival process. We have universal restore, where you can actually recover onto dissimilar hardware. It comes in very handy with OT, where you have older hardware that may fail. You need to swap it out with a different spare. It's got some different drivers, some different equipment inside of it, so it becomes really important. With respect to flexibility and availability, we actually don't require a restart upon installation, right? So that in and of itself, although it's kind of uneventful, it's a huge advantage because you don't have to create an outage for any of the OT in the shop floor network when you actually get up and running. We're software only, so we're actually meant to work with all different types of infrastructure options, different storage, how you might implement 3-2-1 backup or archive immutability, storage immutability. We actually license our Acronis Cyber Protect, but then there's two implementation methods that you can choose. You can choose the on-prem method, or you can choose our Acronis Cloud, right? And with the Acronis Cloud, it's got all the different controls available. Obviously, the on-prem is a little bit more technology work to set up your platform, but again, you can actually customize it to your OT security requirements. Another great feature, we actually have a number of cybersecurity features that have been embedded within our product. For example, antivirus, which is actually used to facilitate, in part, our cyber recovery. Our protection plans actually determine on the agent for each of the devices what actually gets installed, so it actually keeps the client as thin as possible. It's actually really important when you're dealing with older devices where, effectively they might be limited in terms of storage or memory, and it can't actually install a fat client. All right, so the parts on the left side here are a little bit more technical. The stuff that we're going to talk about on the right side, that's actually more important, and it actually becomes more compelling when you're choosing an infrastructure, right? So the next one, number 5, with respect to compliance. And again, this is not meant to be holistic, but just a couple of examples. We actually have 54 data centers throughout the world. So if you're choosing our cloud implementation, data sovereignty is not going to become an issue, right? We're SOC 2 compliant. We're SOC 2 Type 2 compliant. We have a number of other certifications, including GDPR. We're HIPAA compliant. We're compliant with a number of the other requirements, but also with respect to different control frameworks like NIST, CSF. So we have mappings and we're able to show alignment with all different frameworks, and it's helpful from all different perspectives. With respect to reporting, so a lot of folks have to prove that they're compliant from an IT process perspective. We have a lot of CAN reports that actually facilitate typical types of monitoring. For example, backup monitoring, right? On top of that, we have our centralized dashboard, which gives a single pane of glass telemetry across your entire infrastructure, right? So even if you're running multiple Acronis consoles, if you have a very distributed environment, essentially you can get that full telemetry as a process owner. It's easy to set up, and you can pipe the data into other analytics. Let's say you have Power BI or some other type of analytics. It's easy to actually pipe it in with a simple database connection, or we also have a full API that could be used as well. Point number 6, our operational model. You're not going to have to hire new folks, right? So the infrastructure is easy enough to get up and running. You're going to need 1 or 2 people to focus on it and develop some expertise. But actually, the reason why you're adopting it is the ability to recover and protect your systems. We actually have a new separation of duties. Our new role-based access control can actually be used to distribute the ability to recover without giving everyone full admin access. And it actually is perfect for the process automation folks. Throughout all the different sites, all the buildings, they can actually, they're able to actually be able to recover, handle their incident without asking for a service request or engaging an IT team that might not have knowledge about their system. Okay. So again, operational model, it's going to work with that. Just moving down the list, this actually makes it a really compelling choice. Is we've got a lot of the OEMs covered, right? So you see a couple of them on the banner behind me. They've actually OEM'd our product. For example, Emerson Backup and Recovery. There's Experian. So we actually have Acronis under the hood. That's actually the best complement when someone actually OEMs your product and effectively certifies Acronis as the way to do backup and recovery for their infrastructure. And again, we've got relationships throughout the whole shop floor network. And from a power user perspective, we've got a lot of knowledge sharing, and it's, effectively it enables you to do all of your backup and recovery for OT with one platform, and that creates a lot of simplicity. And then finally, with respect to industry, we're actually used throughout manufacturing, We're used across industries, pharmaceutical, GMP, folks that have to be concerned with GMP, oil and gas, automotive, transportation. So we kind of run the gamut. And effectively, we're the trusted advisor amongst all those industries, right? So I'm gonna actually turn it over to Mark now, and Mark's gonna talk about the system integration channel.
All right, control system integrators. This will be quick. I got to get to Vegas night. So, Acronis is beginning and building a control system integrator channel program. And what it's going to help, and what we feel it's going to help, is integrators move from a project-to-project revenue model to help build into a recurring revenue model, where you can be constantly receiving revenue from your partner, from your end user, from your end customer, because they are using your services on a continual basis, and you're promoting business continuity. And also, Acronis needs you. We need help with our end customers need you. We need help with proof of concepts. We need help with implementations, qualifications, and deployments. So there's an opportunity to do some business together there. Differentiation. When you bring up business continuity at the beginning of a project, you differentiate yourself to all the other control system integrators. Your end customers don't think about a business interruption, a production interruption, until after it happens. Be that integrator that brings that up and talks about it initially. You will become a trusted advisor, and you will be looked to help long-term growth at this customer. Profitability. When Acronis is part of a best deployment practice, it is going to help you eliminate service calls, emergency calls, unplanned outages at your end customer, so that you don't have to deploy emergency services, or you don't have to deploy at an unscheduled time, and that maybe you wouldn't have charged for in the past because you're trying to keep the relationship with the customer going. This is going to help that, and therefore ensure that you maintain your profitability goals with each end user project. And then strategic growth. Be that integrator that goes beyond implementation. Be the integrator that talks about protecting your end customers' production, and from cybersecurity, from operational interruptions. Be that integrator that does that. They will thank you for it. They will reward you with long-term business, and you can grow together with. We can grow a recurring business together with Acronis. So thank you, Tom. Good job, and our contact information will be attached to the end of this presentation. Hope you enjoyed ProveIt.